Hello, my name is Adam Winrich and this is an unboxing video. It's got a bunch of whips from Chris Barr, the Australian whip maker. I visited Chris 4 times. I've made whips in his shop. I've also bought a lot of whips from him. And let's see, let's start opening the box see if I can talk while I do it. So there should be 5 whips in this box. There should be 1 pair of stock whips, 2 single stock whips, one of them really fancy, and then there should be 1 bull whip. Now I've kind of been more on a bull whip collecting binge lately, and I know Anthony DeLongis has a bull whip by Chris Barr, but Anthony won't sell it to me, so I stopped trying to collect it from him. Let's see, first what's this little piece of paper? I think this is the export permit filled out by Peter Thorndike, who is helping Chris out. So every kangaroo leather item that leaves Australia needs this paperwork filled out. And let's see, wow, a lot of bubble wrap here. Let's see, so first this is a pair of whips. Now it's bright red and also red. This is a pair of 6 Plat kangaroo leather stock whips with 8 Plat handles. So I ordered a pair earlier this year from Chris in 6 Plat, and I thought they cracked really well. They were just maybe a little bit heavy for me. So I turned right around and ordered another pair and just told him to make this part of the whip a little bit slimmer. So I'm going to crack these guys in a second. So that's a set of whips there. Let's see, up next. Oh, looks like the rest of these are kind of in one piece of bubble wrap. Oh, here is this is a 7-foot 16 Plat bull whip from Chris. So now I finally added one of his bull whips to my collection. I'd probably crack this sitting down. Ah, that's nice. That's got a good weight to it. It's probably 100% kangaroo leather construction. Very nice right there. And see. Moving on, there should be 2 more whips in here. And one of these, this one here, is just a single, I think 6-foot 12 Plat kangaroo stock whip. Chris made up a bunch of stock whips for sale earlier this year and listed them on Facebook. So I decided to go ahead and buy one just for the heck of it. This will probably become a prize. Ooh. This one will probably be just a prize for the LA WhipCon in 2023. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do it this next year. And finally, the last whip. This is a really fancy whip that Chris made with a rawhide handle. I'll show you more detailed video of all these in a second. So here is that's a 60 strand rawhide handle. Very fine rawhide work. That's kangaroo rawhide. And I think it's a 24 strand thong. And what's really interesting about the thong is that something I haven't seen in stock whips before is Chris also put some rawhide interweave in the thong here and in there. So that's rarely seen. So let me crack all these real quick and then I'll bring the camera in for some close-ups. So Chris is probably one of the most winning whip makers in Australia. He's won their national whip making championship several times over, and I've also bought a few of the whips that have won those awards. And it's windy. Cut that out of the video later, or not. So first we'll crack the really expensive 24 Plat stock whip. And will it do the 4 corners? Sure it will. This, I wasn't sure how long this was. It feels like a 7-footer. So while it's a really fancy whip, as Chris knows, in the whip making competitions, they judge them half on how well the whip looks, how well the platting is, and the other half is how well it cracks. So Chris really didn't have a competition to enter this one into, but I'm sure if he had, it would have done really well. Cracking the fancy whip. Let's crack this single 6-footer. So one of the things of Chris Barr's work that we really noticed when I first started buying his stuff back in the 2000s is that his finish was really smooth, his platting was really even, and his whips were really shiny. He had a really good finish on them. So that kind of happens from a couple things. Usually in Chris's whips, he would split the Kangaroo leather down to 1/2 millimeter thick through a splitter, so that helped with the smooth finish. And then when he would apply shellac, he would do it like a French polish, where he would say keep cutting down the shellac with alcohol until to the point where when you would rub it on the first coat, you wouldn't actually see any shine come up. It would still just be dull. And then he would continue to add coat after coat and polishing and rolling in between each coat to really bring up the finish. So he'd get a really polished look between all those applications of shellac that would be polished and then the splitting the leather thinner. That one's really good. We'll crack the 7-foot bull whip. Chris did a very unique knot on the butt end. I'll show you a close-up of that in a second. Yeah, it's real nice. So if anybody wants a good kangaroo leather bullwhip from Australia, you can't go wrong with a Chris Barr bullwhip. That's got a good ring to it, doesn't it? Yeah, it's super good. And finally, the pair of red 6-foot stock whips. These are about 5 foot 8 inches long. Crack sort of one at a time. Let's try, I guess, double 4 corners. Yeah, usually for the 4 corners you need a really limber whip to get all the cracks to come off solid. But once I've spent a bit of time with these and broken them in, I'm sure they're going to crack great. So now let me do some close-up video of each one of these. I just laid all these guys out in a row, so here you get a little close-up view of the 6 Plat stock whips. So even though they're only 6 Plat with like 8 Plat grips, you can see the leather platting is still great, finish is great, and they crack really nice. You don't need a 24 Plat whip to do 4 corners routines. And here's a single 12 Plat whip with a 2-tone grip. And moving on to the bull whip. So that's brandy, very dark brandy. And then check out the finish on this knot that he did. It's got a little 4 Plat wrist loop. Yeah, bullwhip cracks really nice. If you want an Australian style bullwhip, can't do better than that. And finally, the fanciest whip in the bunch. This is it's a 2-tone 24 Plat thong done in brandy and whiskey, and then a 60-strand rawhide handle. I'll zoom in on that handle so you can see all of the fine detail. I think Chris said this whip took him 120 hours, and the price was 4,200 Australian dollars, which was about like 3,000 American dollars. And there you can see the rawhide interweave in the thong in one spot, and we move on down, another rawhide interweave in another spot. Well, that was my unboxing video of a batch of whips from Chris Barr. I believe he is taking orders right now if you'd like to get yourself a set of whips. I think it only took him about less than a month kind of like to make these and the bull whip, the other 2 whips he already had done. So the turnaround time was pretty fast. And if anyone's interested in supporting my YouTube channel, I'll put a link to my Patreon in the description. So my name is Adam Winrich, and thanks for watching.